Morning, everyone. Welcome to this simple and short reflection for this Friday the 12th of June. It's lovely to be with you. I'd like to just follow on a little bit from what Steve shared so helpfully on Wednesday about grief and loss. And I'd like to base my thoughts around this simple sentence from one of the Psalms that simply says, "You put my tears in your bottle." That's from Psalm 56, verse 8. There are many reasons for tears, aren't there? Of course. There are tears of joy. How many of us have wept at weddings just because of the emotion of the beauty of a wedding? How many of us have wept at a response to beauty, whether that's a beautiful scene, whether that's being out in the countryside, whether that's listening to an amazing piece of music. I remember when David and I came back from a particularly special pilgrimage that we were privileged to take in the Holy Land, and very soon after we arrived back home we went to a concert which left us both in tears. Just the beauty and the emotion poured out really as a result of the music and following on from this amazing experience. There are tears with others, aren't there? How many of us, of course, have wept with those who've wept in sad times or even happy times. Sometimes someone else's tears leads us to tears, quite rightly too. Of course there are tears of grief and loss. Of course there are. And Steve reminded us that that beautiful verse as well that says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." God never leaves us alone in our grief and walks with us through the valleys of the shadows of death. And grief and loss, of course, can be for many reasons. The loss of someone we love is huge, of course, and we must recognise that, and we do recognise that, and we care for those who are grieving the loss of a loved one. But there are other losses, aren't there? Sometimes what we feel is a small loss in our heads is actually in our hearts a big loss, a hurting loss, and we always must acknowledge one another's losses and care for each other at those times. There are tears of pain, physical pain and emotional pain and hurt. Sometimes our response to hurt is tears. There are many other responses to hurt, of course, but tears is one of them. Sometimes there are unexplained tears. Sometimes we just feel teary, weepy, and that might be because of sadness of some sort. It might be because of tiredness. It might be because of a low mood, maybe depression or anxiety. There are tears of fear and worry for ourselves or for other people. There are many reasons, aren't there, for tears. Sometimes they're illogical tears. Sometimes they're irrational tears that we can't really explain, but here they come. But of course, many times tears are for very, very real reasons. But for whatever reason we weep and cry, know that God sees all our tears and he understands and cares for all our tears. He does not judge for how we're feeling, thank goodness. God keeps and sees and knows our tears, keeps them in his bottle. They're precious to him. And our feelings, our lives, ourselves are precious to him, whether we're in a happy place or a difficult and a sad place. Today in the church calendar, we remember especially a saint called Barnabas. Barnabas was especially known for his gift of encouragement. I think that must be a beautiful gift to have, to share with others a gift of encouragement. I wonder if he actually shared this verse with those around him who were going through sad times. You put my tears in your bottle. If someone is sad, if you are sad, or if someone around you is sad, know that God is kind, and know that we also can share that gift of kindness with others. I know I've experienced many times, especially in these last 3 months, of people's kindness. People have been so generous and kind. And I actually believe that all kindness, all encouragement, all love comes from the heart of God himself. So let's join with Barnabas and offer as much encouragement as we can to those around us who are going through teary, difficult, weepy times. And may God bless you. I'd love to just read the prayer for today that focuses on Barnabas. Bountiful God, giver of all gifts, who poured your Spirit upon your servant Barnabas and gave him the grace to encourage others. Help us, by his example, to be generous in our judgments and unselfish in our service. Through Jesus Christ, your Son, our Lord. Amen.